Hello again. Sometimes what you really need to get done is know what's going on with the property you're going to buy, and that's when you get a title company. And I am Burton Pinkham with Bigfoot Mortgage, and I am here with Joni Wilson from Sterling and Wilson Title Company. They just opened shop up above our office, and we're here to talk about all things title. So tell me a little bit about your history, your story, and what got you to where you are today.
Oh gosh, yes. Well, I am a licensed title insurance producer. I've been in title for about 10 years now, and I have done every role in the title company from answering phones, opening orders, to title commitments, closings, post-closing, everything.
Okay.
So I have a deep, deep love for the title insurance business, which is funny, kind of speaks to just how nerdy I am. But yeah, at the end of last year, Lisa, Sterling, and I decided we would take all of our knowledge and experience and open our own title company. So starting January 1, we hit the ground running, and it has been an adventure.
Nice. So what made you decide to open your own title company?
We had a grandiose idea of, just how we wanted the title process to go. We wanted to be able to communicate our way better with our clients. And we kind of, I wouldn't say baby our clients, but we treat every client special. We learn how that client operates, how they want to be communicated with, and we tailor every closing to that client. When you work at a larger title company, it's just not possible.
Okay.
With the workflow that clients just put into that workflow really as a number, even though you don't want them to be.
Right.
So it's very impersonal, and we wanted to put that personal touch back in the title.
Interesting. You're speaking very much my language and the language of Bigfoot Mortgage. Most folks in my industry talk about transactions. How many transactions have we had?
Yes.
And that is one of the reasons that I work with Bigfoot Mortgage, because we don't talk in that language. We talk in people's names.
Yes.
We are talking about people, we're serving people, and we're helping them. And frankly, transactional business, that's the worst kind of business.
Yes.
You want to talk to people, you want to help them, and you want to get them to a better place. And people are people. We're not numbers, we're not transactions. And what you're saying speaks to me. That speaks to me. So larger title companies, you've got the people, you've got the numbers, what have you. Your company does things differently. So what happens as you start to grow?
We go ahead and add people before we are overwhelmed. We add people to our team so that we can maintain that personal touch.
And you just hired someone recently.
We did.
That's right.
We did. She is a wonderful addition to our team.
Congratulations! It shows that you're already moving in the right direction.
Yes.
And you've had your own door open for how long?
Since January 1.
January of this year. So
yeah, so
2025.
we're 5
so
months
not
now.
bad. Not bad. Good. How are things going so far?
Wonderful. It's been an adventure, twists and turns with every adventure, learning how to be a business owner and trying to maintain the relationships that we have, building new relationships, just juggling a little bit of everything.
Okay. Yeah, I know the people who are watching this video are probably going to be folks who are interested in buying a home. But I think a lot of realtors may look at this as well when they see title and they want to be interested in what you do. And you and I have talked about this before. When I drive to work, I literally drive past 3 title companies, right? It seems like they're everywhere. And when you start looking for them, you realize they really are everywhere.
They are.
So how do you stand out from the other title companies? Or how does a title company in general stand out from other title companies?
Yes, there are a plethora of title companies in the greater Knoxville area. And we all sell the same product.
Yes.
And we all do handle a closing.
Right.
And so for us to stand out quickly, the service and the experience has to be exceptional. So from the moment we receive a contract, we are reaching out personally to the agent, to the buyers, to the sellers. We're educating. We're explaining, hey, are you familiar with the title closing experience? Because a lot of people, buyers and sellers, and even new agents, they are somehow just expected to already understand how the process works. But there's so many intricacies for a transaction. They're all a little different. They all require something different.
I like that. I mean, there are a lot of seasoned veterans as far as real estate agents go, and they'll know and they'll have expectations which are reasonable based on experience. But I would think, tell me if I'm wrong, by and large, the majority of people that are buying homes, they've only done it once or twice or a few, 3 times in their life, and they probably don't even remember what the closing experience was like. Now, I've had a nasty closing experience once, years and years ago, and I remember that. But I'm curious to know, when you're working with your day to day and you're doing titles, are you finding that that's generally true, that most people don't know about the title experience?
Yes, they have kind of a general idea, but they don't understand kind of what title does, the role title plays.
Give us a brief summary for folks who don't know. Like, keep it brief, because I'm sure the real estate agents are going to fast forward that part.
Yeah, so once we receive a contract, we do a 30-year title search on the property, and that uncovers any liens or issues on the property, any clouds on title that we would need to clear before that property can be conveyed.
Okay. So someone who's never bought a home before, have no idea what title does.
Yeah.
All they know is that, boy, that's a big long list of fees.
Yes.
That's all they see. So what are you doing exactly?
Yeah, and I actually love talking to first-time homeowners.
Yes.
I love getting to just I'll spend 20, 30 minutes on the phone going through the process.
Nice.
And I tell them, hey, once we get this contract, we are going to go to the Register of Deeds. That's where, at the county for the property, all of the documents pertinent to this property are recorded. And so for 30 years back, we go through, are there any mortgages? Are there any judgments? What does this property look like? Is what we're conveying, does this make sense? Is this what's actually a record? Has something changed? So then, once we have all that information, we prepare what's called a title commitment from that information. And that is an agreement with the underwriter to issue a title insurance policy once all these issues have been cleared.
Okay.
If we find anything, say the current owner of the property has a mortgage already,
right,
but we have to get a payoff, and we have to make sure that lien is taken off of the property when we transfer. And so we talk to the buyers and the sellers, and we explain to them, hey, this is our process. Whenever you come to closing, this is the kind of cash to close as required. Certified funds. And of course, that's something else that people don't understand very well.
You can't just write a check for however much your down payment is going to be, or your closing costs.
Or we've had people bring cash to closing.
Oh, like
an
cash
actual
dollars.
Cash. You can't do that.
Cash is king, but not when you're closing on a house.
No.
Okay.
So we're like, hey, we'll need a cashier check or a wire transfer, certified funds. And, there are a lot of banks that you can only wire up to $10,000 in a 24-hour period. Things like that. So there's a lot of little issues that we'll discuss prior to the actual closing date.
Before they become issues.
To get the buyer and our sellers ready for closing.
Great. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your audience. You're looking to grow your company, obviously. Who are you looking to talk to, and what would you like to say to them?
Mostly realtors. And the thing is we are very different, because most companies, and it's kind of, against what you would think we would do as business owners, but we don't just go after high producers and things like that. It's when we meet somebody, we say, is this the kind of human that we want to work with? Not just, are you going to send us a lot of business? Do you make a lot of money? It's, is interacting with you going to maintain the reputation that matters to us?
That sounds counterproductive at first, but it is not counterproductive. As someone who's been in business many, many years, doing business with humans is very different than doing business with a company or like I said before, a transaction. Transactions are the lowest form of business. And particularly in the real estate industry, and I'm going to include lending as well, it is very important to find people who you trust and to find people who you really do trust and know they'll say what they say, and they're not just trying to get the deal done. There's a saying in our office which says, people who want something from you will tell you what you want to hear, but people who care about you will always tell you the truth. And it's always about always telling the truth. Another saying that I like to say is that good people tend to circle around other good people.
Yes.
And so when I find a good
Mhm.
person and a good company,
Mhm.
I always ask, who do you know that I should know? Because I'd like to expand the circle of good people that I know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your business philosophy, which was my
Mhm.
next question. What's your business philosophy? Which is to
Yeah.
find good people to work with.
Yeah, you are known by the company that you keep.
Yes, yeah.
And so, if someone's posting, hey, we did a closing with Sterling and Wilson Title,
Mhm.
we're immensely proud of that.
Yeah.
And we understand that, if an agent tells their client, hey, I trust Sterling and Wilson Title, when they send a contract to us and we are interacting with their clients, that their reputation is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yes.
when you get to title, if you have a really terrible experience, that can ruin the entire experience for the client.
Mhm. So
So we have a huge responsibility to protect the reputation of our clients as well.
Understood.
Mhm.
When you refer someone for a business service or what have you,
Mhm.
you also refer a piece of yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm very careful when I refer my friends or people I know to a different service,
Mhm.
because if it's a bad experience, I shouldn't have referred them that way. And
Yes.
I'm sometimes sneaky about it. I'll refer them, and if it's somebody I don't know well, but I think they're going to be good, I'll say, hey, talk to this person about this and let me know how it goes.
Right, yeah.
And then I'm giving away all the secrets here. And then I'll call the person
Mhm.
that I referred them to, and I said, hey, how did it go when you talked to so-and-so? Just to get an idea of what's going on, because sometimes somebody can be a great person, but people don't click. And so
Yes.
that's why I get to know
Mhm.
several different CPAs and several different financial advisors, for example, because some people want to work with other people, some people jive with other people. So
Yeah.
anyway, going off on a tangent about my referral philosophy. Nevertheless, I appreciate what you're saying, and I think that the more businesses that grab that type of philosophy,
Mhm.
where we want to work with good people who we trust, who we want to be associated with and affiliated with,
Yep.
that is the key to a successful business.
Yes.
Because success doesn't necessarily mean a fat bank account.
Right.
Success
Yeah.
can also mean a fulfilled life and going
Yes.
home happy.
Yes, I like to be able to sleep at night.
Yes, yes,
So-
absolutely, absolutely. So, what would you want to say to the real estate? Well, let's say the realtor community
Mhm.
in our area. What do you think that would be some valuable information that they could know that you can provide to them that will help them meet their goals?
When you're coming from a title perspective, and we build relationships with realtors, and there are services that we offer that does help them. So if they are meeting with a buyer, looking at a property, they can call us and there's like, hey, are there restrictions on this property? Or if they're looking to list a property, we go ahead and do a title search on the property.
Mhm.
So they understand if there are any issues that their client needs to be aware of, and we go ahead and start working on those things so that when they do get to an actual bound contract,
Mhm.
whether we are the closing agent on the contract or not, we've helped that client to be a better service to their
Nice.
buyers and sellers.
That is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Have you ever read The Go-Giver by Bob Burg?
No.
What you just described is one of his 5 principles of stratospheric success. And I'm going to give you a copy of
Go-Giver.
that book. It's phenomenal. You'll love it.
I'd love to
All
read
right.
that.
Thank you so much. It has been
Mhm.
phenomenal chatting with you this
Thank
morning.
you, Burton.
I really like it. Really. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you
Mhm.
next time. And thank you to the Empty Cup for hosting us today. Take care.